welcome to my channel. My name's Nanette. I am a 61-year-old woman in Northeast Florida documenting my financial journey on YouTube. I'm using the app You Need a Budget, which is commonly called YNAB. And I am marking the final months and weeks and days to a semi-retirement in mid-October of this year. If you have not seen my channel before, the date is somewhat arbitrary and is due to a downsizing at work. So I'm getting laid off. It was originally supposed to be mid-March. I got a 6-month extension, so that has shaken a few things up. But my knee-jerk reaction to getting laid off was to, well, frankly, freak out a little bit because I'm not completely prepared for retirement. I know that my current retirement investments are not sufficient to replicate anything near my current salary. I've been living on less than half of my salary, so that helps. But what I did was I decided to create a little experiment where for the next at least 3 months, if not all the way through the end of my employment period, I'm going to be living only on my income replacement emergency fund to the tune of $5,000 a month. So the first video I did was all the budgeting for living expenses for the month of February. Today's session is going to be a budget with me for my second paycheck of February. I'm one of those people who budgets out the entirety of my gross paycheck, which is what you see here on the screen and ready to assign. So we have $7,545.83, and as I mentioned, this will not go towards regular cost of living, regular living expenses. The little rules for my experiment are rather simple. Paycheck and any extra income that is generated, they're getting split into my tax-deferred savings accounts, my brokerage account, and my sinking funds. And that would be sinking funds that I wouldn't necessarily be planning on spending in the next year or so, more the emergency fund type of sinking funds. So let's jump right on in. The first thing I always do is start with whatever overspending I have. Looks worse than it is. Most of the overspending is directly related to payroll expenses. So first up would be the category group payroll nonsense. Here, if you're interested, you can pause the video and read through all of the different little details of the deductions that come out of my payroll. I have gone in and fine-tuned to make sure that all of this matched up with my payroll stub for this pay period. Every now and again, there's little refinements that are made, and this paycheck was no different than that. I had noticed that I always use the underfunded button, and when I click the underfunded button, what you'll see is the amount, the ready to assign drops down to $6,190.23. When I just undid that so that we can go back and do it a different way. In watching other people who budget out their gross income, I was noticing that they've been using the reset available amounts to zero button. Turns out it does the exact same thing. So mystery solved on my behalf. $6,190.23 is left to be budgeted. We're going to go next to my someday over the rainbow category group, which is my tax deferred investments. Again, all of these are directly related to payroll. All of these deductions came out with payroll. So first up is the stock purchase plan to the tune of $754.58. It's remarkable how difficult it is to say numbers when you're recording. Next up is the HSA contribution. I did make note of the fact that I have 15 more paychecks after this one. And if they're only deducting $204.17 towards that, between that and what they've already collected for the year, I'll be short of the $5,150 goal by a little over $650. So I will probably wait to cover that shortage until after my final paycheck, and then I'll just round up the balance to the full contribution using not this HSA account, but another HSA account that I have. But as far as this one goes, let's cover the underfunding and move along. Next up is the standard 401k deduction. 23,500 is the goal for the year. YNAB wants me to put in, well, the YNAB target does not match the overspending, but the underfunded amount does match it, so I can click on the underfunded. Okay, on the first paycheck of the month that didn't work. That did not work, but it did for this one, so all is well with the world. Next up is the catch-up contribution for people who are 60 to 63 in the year of 2025, and that one we will cover the overspent using the underfunded button over here, and that covers that one. Then we have two categories that were overspent this month, and my arbitrary rule is if I overspend regular living expenses, it has to the overspending has to be covered from somewhere else in the budget that was funded for the month. This is creating just a little bit of scarcity where I can see the actual trade-offs when I overspend a category. So where am I going to take this out of? Groceries. I could take it out of, well, first thing I wanted to do, I've already gone in and looked, and I can't cover it from what I wanted to do it with. I wanted to do it from the Feed Me, which is my dining out category group, but you can see that there's only $4.76 left there, so that's not going to work. So instead, gosh, do I want to take it from, I don't want to take it from guilt-free spending. I am going to take it from some other fixed expense that won't be too terribly painful. I don't like the idea of taking it from gifts, things that should be benefiting other people. Share the wealth is another category group where there's money there, but the purpose of it is to share with others, not to cover my overspending. The subscriptions, I certainly could cover it there, and it means that I'm really borrowing from the future because those have to be covered later on. Not going to use the cat's money. I am willing to take it from the unplanned. Well, I'm not, because I know I have another, I have another bit of overspending that I do want to come out of the unplanned category. So how far did we get down here? This is absolutely having the intended purpose of helping me see where the overspending is hitting. And I think the right one to take it from is actually that fun and adventures category. So yeah, maybe that'll, I hate to say that'll teach me. It's good to see. I know that the groceries were higher this month because groceries are going up, but also I restocked the matcha powder, and I get a large quantity of that. It's like a 6-month supply, so that was a good $30 of that. But nevertheless, it's been covered. Let's move on. Next up, I had already decided this year that I'm going to do my own taxes, so I'm not planning on using the professional fees for the tax preparation, which is what they're usually budgeted for. So I made the purchase of some retirement planning software with the intention that I can model out several different scenarios and get a little more comfortable with how much income I'm going to need to generate next year, with the assumption that I won't go directly into full-on retirement. I don't want to draw down my retirement savings this soon, and I don't want to collect Social Security this soon, even though I am eligible to start taking Social Security on my birthday next January. So anyhow, I made that purchase, and I'm still $67 short of the purchase itself. So we are going to cover this overspending with that unplanned category, which, as luck would have it, is just enough to cover it with 78 cents left. So that's been done. This leaves us with the $2,439.52 from my gross paycheck that didn't go to overspending. So as I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, anything from the paycheck is going to cover, let's first start with the Someday Over the Rainbow. Let me collapse everything. It just makes me happier. So we can just focus on, let's see, I know the HSA is going to be short that 650 that I mentioned, but I don't want to cover that until after October. The 401k contributions have to come from the paycheck, so I'm going to go to the traditional IRA. I'll go ahead and put another $2,000 towards that, and I am making note of the fact that I've got it sitting there, it hasn't been invested yet, so I'll make that transfer next week, and maybe I will actually do a Transfer Tuesday video. I think I threatened to do that last time and I didn't do it. We'll see what happens. And that leaves us with $439.52. I did, on the investments, that's another one that I want to cover, but I'm already on target to do the $2,000 a month for that one. So I know I made $2,000 in investments. $1,000 of that was carryover money from January, but I like keeping that in $1,000 increments, so I'm going to do so. Next up, that would jump us into the sinking funds, and the one I'm currently going after is the insurance deductibles. So I will add the $439.52 to that, which brings us to just over $6,000, and I am short $95.23. And then I have one little surprise in here. I have a holding category for the cash back since the last time I had a budget with me video. So we can take that $9.74 and we will put it also into the insurance deductibles. And then we're short just the $85.49. And that is done. We have finished doing all of the budgeting of all of the February payroll. And then if we want to, we could jump into March. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a separate video where I do the budgeting for the month of March. I probably will do that I'll probably do that tomorrow. But for today, what I think I want to do is reflect on what is left. So payroll nonsense has nothing left in it, which is as it should be. The investments just has the $3,000 we've already talked about that I know I need to invest. It is already after the stock market has closed for the day, so I can't do anything about that today anyway. So I'll probably queue up the transfer over the weekend and then maybe do the Tuesday transfer video next week. Okay, in sinking funds, I have plenty towards clothing, which I would purchase this year. Car maintenance, if anything happens, I'm covered. Car replacement. This certainly is not a purchase for this year. It is a candidate for moving it off the budget and into the brokerage account. I'm not positive I want to do that. Because I may want to leave, all of the extra money that I have is sitting in the high yield savings account. So it could be getting a little bit more in the stock market, maybe even as much as twice more. But I'm just still not 100% comfortable putting it into the brokerage account with the instability of my job right now. So I think I will aim to make decisions on that in the month of March. We are coming up on the compensation period, the compensation cycle at my job. And since I will be there through October, I have been put back into the compensation process. So I'm getting a small raise and also will receive my bonus next Friday. So after I've budgeted out my bonus, I will look to make some more solid decisions on what's going to stay on budget and what's going to go off budget. I think I have too much money in the high yield savings account that could be moved over into the brokerage account without really putting me at any risk. Home maintenance, this is one of my big goals for the year. I've left it with the title showing the $12,000 goal that I have for the year. Because of the job change, I had reduced the target down to 9,000 in the target over here. But because I'm extended through October, it should be easy enough for me to cover the $12,000 goals. So might be making changes to that soon. And the rest of these are right where I want them to be. Insurance deductibles is coming up on its current goal of $61.88, and then I'm going to switch to medical out of pocket and be working on that goal. The first tier of that goal would be the $1,650. That would cover in-network deductibles, or I'll probably jump all the way to the $3,300 that would cover the out-of-pocket maximum for in-network services. And then last but not least in that group, we've got technology at $667.01. No target on that for this year. I don't have any plans for technology, so that's probably fine sitting there. Okay. Life will out. We have nothing left in a lot of categories. We've got, I don't need gas, but I have money towards gas. Oh, that's a place I would have probably been fine spending groceries out of. On personal care, I would not have, because I'm setting aside exactly what I need to cover the number of massages I want to have and haircuts that I want to have. Do good in the world. This is all about other people. I'm very happy with the numbers I have in here. I'm on target for Christmas. At least I believe I am. Yeah. Feels like that number should be funded to go 790, whatever. It says it's on target, so I'm going to believe it. Gifts, I have plenty in there. Papa Payback is absolutely fine. It's actually a month ahead, which is good. Tax deductible donations, that is just going to be a fun one to spend. One of the local charities that I want to donate to is having matching contributions coming up. So I'm going to reach out to the director of that program this weekend, I think, find out when's the best day to donate to that, so that it'll get the local matching funds. And then when I donate through my company, it'll also get the matching contribution. So that'll be a triple donation for them. And I don't know if I'll do the whole 5K to that, but I've been looking forward to making those contributions. Share the wealth. I spent out of it this month, so that's good. I want to spend that down to zero by the end of the year. Number 2 funds, I don't even want to talk about. I've had a heart-to-heart with my son about the pace at which he's spending canteen, and he has agreed that he needs to start budgeting just like I do. We talked about zero-based budgeting. He can't use the app that I'm using, but he can do it manually himself. So we just talked on the phone before I started filming, and he's pretty much on track. He's overspent a little bit of his first week with the less money that I gave him, but he knows exactly what he's doing, and he'll deal with it. It'll be just fine. Subscriptions are absolutely fine. They kind of take care of themselves. The cat expenses, had to buy food this month. That's all well and good. Business operations is always well and good. Anything exciting to look at in here? Don't know why I have an extra $5 in internet, but I'm not going to complain. It's not worth looking into. And that is all going to be just fine. I'll have to be mindful of those unplanned expenses. Actually, let's go take a peek at that. I have, $10 a month is all. So that's funny. I used up months worth of unplanned expenses in the month of February. So that's probably going to be helpful towards my findings. Power is under $300 this coming month in March, so that's going to be fine. And the rest of those are on target. Play harder. I have plenty of money for fitness, garden supplies. Maybe I'll go out and treat myself to something tonight to spend the last $4.76. Probably won't. And then fun and adventures. This is one where I'm a little concerned about the $5,000 limit that I've put on myself. I think this is where I'm going to feel the pain of that. That's a good thing. It's going to help clarify how much I want to work next year. And I also have plenty of money coming in the bonus that I could actually put towards this. I don't know when I'll decide to do that because I'm really trying to learn all I can from the experiment before I spoil myself too much. But also, there's no need for me to be self-sacrificing. My income has not gone down yet. I'm not in any danger whatsoever. If you look at these numbers, they're all very healthy. There's no major sacrifices being had. Oh, that's nice. I've got money in helping hands. Didn't get a whole lot of help this month. I did have 2 cleaning services this month, but not much extra help. But I will be needing lots of help in the coming months as the weather gets warmer and the food beds and the permaculture food forests get ahead of me. I don't want them getting on top of me. So I'll get all the help I need for that. All right, that is a lot to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I sure hope that you'll click like and subscribe so that you can get more of this kind of content. This feels like a bit of a chatty one. Next up, though, will be probably a short and sweet budget with me with the $5,000 for the month of March. Possibly some interest. There will be some interest from the high yield savings account and a couple of other accounts to also also allocate. And then next Friday's video will probably be a little bit more interesting because it will be the bonus for the year that I didn't expect to get so soon. So I'm very happy to know that's coming. Thanks again for being here, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.